Welcome back, everybody, here to with another video here, and today I'm actually going to be doing a podcast here with good friend of mine, Shadow Fox, or aka Kenny.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
He's the mailman. So we starting this sort of podcast. There hasn't been too many podcasts now in the Dragon Ball community. All the good ones, unfortunately, they had to stop for, I'm sure personal reasons. So we decided we would probably do something.
We're referring to Hermit Style,
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are all good guys over there. So we wanted to sort of step in and sort of make hopefully some maybe bi-weekly content. I guess it just depends on what's going on in the community. Just kind of talk about some Dragon Ball. I'm sure depending on how much we're able to do this and how much we kind of invest, we might be able to step up production and do some other things. We want to, get it audio out there on Spotify, some other stuff. So, but as of right now, it's gonna be me and Kenny. So you guys kind of know me from the channel already, but I'll give you guys a little bit of background on myself first. Been playing Dragon Ball since Set 8, which was, I think, the first set where they revealed... I forgot what was in that set. Heartfelt Plea. Actually, that was the set with Hachiak, which is my favorite leader.
Oh,
so,
God.
Yeah, that's the first ever deck that I've built, and I've been playing it ever since.
I remember you playing Hacky Sack back then too.
Yeah, man.
I 100% remember that.
That's my first deck I ever built, and I thought every deck was like that in Dragon Ball, and I realized that it's just a very toxic deck. So, but yeah, I've been playing since then. I think it's probably been about 3 years or so. And what about you, Kenny?
Oh, well, I'm going to date myself a little bit. I've been playing since Set 3. So, I came into the game at the plight of Mecha Apes.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard horror stories of that deck. I loved it.
I've seen some horror stuff. It seemed very toxic.
It's back when this game was relatively cheap, but that deck was $250 to build. Because Scientist Foos were a $25 promo from the TP at the time.
That's funny.
You needed 4 of the Bardock Will of Iron, which were a $30 promo. Like, the deck was insanely expensive at the time, which, mind you, $250 now is a joke compared to what decks cost anymore. But
yeah, absolutely.
Considering you'll pay that just for a secret rare. But I came in during Mecha Apes, Mecha Veggies format. And I played through all the crap since then. I've dealt with Storm format, which you were fortunate enough to miss.
Mm-hmm.
That was...
I did play the VigX format, though. So that was fun.
I played... Yeah, remember, I came through Storm. I played through VigX as well.
That was pretty bad. That was pretty annoying.
Storm was worse, I assure you.
I could imagine. So, today's episode, actually, being episode 1, we kind of waited... because we were expecting the ban list obviously to come out, right? So we were like, well, let's just wait so we can do all of the Set 21 reveals, or I guess reactions to what we have in Set 21, as well as the ban list, so we can kind of have a full episode to kind of go off of. And we have some other things we'll probably throw in there here and there. So one big thing, though, if you guys do like the content, obviously subscribe to my channel, of course. Again, we will probably end up doing something in the future where me and Kenny are able to have kind of a standalone channel for this, as well as some audio stuff like for Spotify and iTunes and things like that. Please, leave down below in the comments. I'll probably talk about this later on in the video as well. But we do want to do sort of like a Q&A section, maybe at like the end, and where you guys ask us questions. We'll pick some of the best questions, and we'll talk about those at some point during one of the episodes of the podcast. So I figured we can start off with the Set 21 reveals, and since now everything in the set, including the Secret Rares and the God Rare, have been announced, figure we kind of go over some of the goods and the bads, what we like, I know what you like, and then kind of give maybe kind of like an overall grade to this set in just maybe design and competitive, power, things like that. And I'll kind of let you start with that.
Well, the first thing we're going to go with is that the Bandai translation team really needs to figure it out, because the fact that because this is, mind you, I'm going to jump ahead and we're going to go to like a little bit of the band errata list, but when 90% of your errata list is just errating the set that hasn't even come out yet, that's an issue.
That was so bad. Like
for example, I was kind of on board with the Cell deck. It seemed like it would have been a decent like rogue strategy for the meta, especially with what got hit with red. It would have actually done well. and then they just errated it to where that deck is completely unplayable.
Yeah, they should have just added. I saw this on the Facebook group. Someone put they should have just changed the permanent that's saying you can't play non-green battle cards, and it would have been fine. Because then you can't play. Well, you could still technically play Koitsukai. So maybe like just saying you can't include non-green cards in your deck. Then you can't use the Koitsukai and Black Mass Saiyan stuff, which would have made the deck really toxic. And instead they just killed it. And there's a card you can't even play in the deck that came in the archetype, that one-drop cell, which is so stupid.
They could have easily... I'm going to excuse the listeners as well. My child is down here. He likes to make noise. He's 4 months old. It happens. But the biggest problem I have is they could have just... They saved the whole trouble and just errated Koitsukai and BMS. Because they could have just said Koitsukai and BMS don't trigger when only trigger when a non-token battle card comes into play. Which would have eliminated all the problems. Yeah, that was the biggest issue, was the Koitsukai BMS, and then you just make the human tokens and just neg their entire hand in one turn.
I think maybe the reason why they didn't do that is because those cards are technically side cards you can use against Android 21, since they play tokens. So that's maybe why they didn't do that. But still, like there was definitely a better errata they could have done outside of saying you can't play non-Android cards, because they essentially just killed that entire deck. Because
Absolutely.
They essentially made it completely only focused on playing a Z leader eccentric deck, which the Z leader for that deck is fantastic. Like once you get into the final stage of it, I just don't know why that was the thing. So obviously,
my issue I had with it entirely is they tried to do the same gimmick that they tried to pull off the last set with the Super 17, and the Super I don't get me wrong, it's a cool idea, like the Z leader chain. That's really cool. But look at the game state, it's not practical.
Yeah.
Especially with Super 17, I tested it. I put it together, I tried it, and it's just, you don't do anything until turn 4, and in Dragon Ball, turn 4, you're either trying to kill someone, or you're fighting for your life.
Yeah.
And in Super 17, you were fighting for your life.
And it's a green deck, so it already kind of put it at a...
Why you gotta stab me like that?
I mean, if it was a blue deck, you would have like Baby Hatch. You know what I'm saying? Like you could like play some defense.
Yeah, but you'd have a lot more defensive tools.
So
go on.
I was gonna say, so we kind of know, like, okay, so obviously Cell's basically just not playable. So they basically printed one green leader for this entire set, which is Gohan. Which I don't know if you've seen some of the opinions of it. So obviously there's like a lot of positive opinions on the Gohan, but there are some people who just think that the deck is just a gimmick, or like a bait gimmick. Like it's like it looks really cool on the outside, but when you start looking at the deck, you're like, okay, this deck actually doesn't do anything, or it's too complicated or something.
I disagree with that, because like mind you, what it does is linear. But that's most decks that have a boss monster that they want to build up to. They will play a linear style. For instance, like with your Hyperbolic Time Chamber, your turn 2 is almost guaranteed. You're going to make the Z Goku to get your Hyperbolic Time Chamber going.
Yeah.
But the benefit of that is just, it's worth spending that turn just doing that. You know, not to mention you have a way to cheat out your Z leader, which the Z leader itself is absolutely, it's snapped.
Yeah.
You know, the leader itself, even without Z Awakening, like, it's a generically good green leader.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what green was hurting for.
You
know, you have all these green decks that you have to load up your deck with 30 plus cards that are in archetype just to make the deck function.
Yeah,
and realistically, Gohan doesn't even need that. You could basically play it like yellow. You just cram all the good green cards in it, and the deck will function even without Hyperbolic Time Chamber.
Yeah, and they did errata Time Chamber, so you do add up to 2 life. Which
we knew that was coming.
Yeah, that seemed a little ridiculous. Like if that was printed on the card and it was supposed to be that way, that the deck would have.
Oh, the deck would be tier 0.
That's insane. But
just play something from under it, put 2 more life in.
So thankfully that they changed that. But yes, you could take up to 2 life, which I guess is nice. You can either put yourself in like clone token range or super combo range. Yeah. But no, that deck I think that deck is probably the number 1 deck that will come out of that set to be competitively viable the quickest, I guess. I think that deck can probably come out this first event and do well, if people decide to, like, if people test it and play it. That's the biggest thing. Like, there's
Well, and what's playing to its favor was the ban list.
Yep.
You know, I've been playing. Chris will attest to this. I've been playing green ever since he met me.
Yeah.
So I've been on the struggle bus for a long time, and we've gotten a good few green leaders here and there. And I can tell you, like, hands down, looking at Gohan, this is probably the best green leader we've had since Gotenks came out in set 10.
Yeah, this is the most generically good green leader. I'd say, like, close would be like King Cold. Like,
well, and I wouldn't even count that generically good because
it's not.
30 cards in there.
Well, I just meant, like, from, like, a standpoint of having, like, a good green leader. Like, King Cold is, like, one of my, like, I would put it, like, on the top shelf of, like, what a green deck can do. But as you're right, you have a ton of cards in your deck that you can't combo, and it's not generically good. Or a Saiyan, right? Like, that's, like, you need that trait. And Gohan has that, and it's just...
Well, and that's the biggest saving grace is if you look at all these good green staples that have been printed out the years, with the exception of the new Champ Pack Cooler from the regionals, all of them are green Saiyans. Like, you have two that aren't, and that is Piccolo Faded Rival and that Cooler. And frankly, Piccolo Faded Rival, it's good. You could use it for hand control.
Yeah, I think we've gone back and forth on that one.
Cooler, you don't need it anymore because of what the new Gohan does for the same energy.
Gohan is... That card is...
It's insane.
It's wild. That card's wild. And it makes it better. So, like, at first, and we'll talk about this in the ban list, but I was like, man, this is going to suck. You're going to play this for 2, and they're just going to dirty burst you. And now you have to worry about that.
And now you have zero fear of that.
Oh, it's so good. So bad for blue players, though. Okay, so obviously, Gohan's probably the best deck to come out of this set, I would say, arguably. Then we have the yellow decks. There's, like, the Flip Saiyan leader, the Goku Vegeta, and then the other one was the Frieza swap. Any thoughts on those two?
I haven't looked much into the Flip leader, but the Frieza swap, like, it's been covered by quite a few other channels, so I've, of course, checked in and seen what it looks like, and it feels to me like kind of like how Red Frieza swap was, except it now has all the tools that Yellow has.
Yeah.
And I think that honestly might propel it, just simply because you have access to Robotic Repose, Time Magic, etc., all these good yellow staples that every deck just throws in there.
Cold Bloodlust.
Yeah, Cold Bloodlust even, best secret rare in the game in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's a really good deck. I think I talked about this in my deck profile video of it, or the video that I made for it, but, like, it's really good, but Golden Frieza is just a deck. So it's like, why would you play it? Like, competitively, why would you play it?
And I agree with you on that, but it's one of them, if you wanted to take it as, like, a rogue,
absolutely,
it would perform because you have all of the support of Yellow.
Yep. I think it fits that same spot as, like, the Vegito Spirit Bomb yellow deck, which is a good yellow deck, but it just gets overshadowed by Majin Vegeta and Trunks Vegeta, so nobody really plays it. But if someone does play it, I think someone could top with it if they know the deck enough, because it's a yellow generic Saiyan leader, and Frieza swap kind of fits that being a yellow generic Frieza army leader.
Yeah.
Essentially, so.
Just instead of the Saiyan stuff, you have Cold Bloodlust.
Yep. The other deck, so it essentially it's again another just generically good yellow Saiyan deck. It kind of has, like, a launch mechanic where you can kind of flip back and forth and draw cards and do different effects. It seems very sequence heavy. And you have this effect where you have 2 of them in the deck that are essentially like overrealms, that you basically pop your rest-moded energy, and then you can play it for free, and then one's a double strike or one's a crit. Very interesting concept. I know Jacob is confused. He's one of our local guys, and he comments a lot in the Herman Style chat. I know he was talking about making, like, a turn 2 version of the deck because he likes really aggro decks, and it technically works. So that might be a deck that we'll have to play against at some point.
Oh wow! I don't know why my brain. Yeah, the Goku Vegeta flip leader.
Yeah.
I like the mechanic with the flip leader. I do like that because it offers you multiple utilities because both sides do different things.
Yeah.
What I don't like about it is your boss monsters, like you said, require you to get rid of energy.
Yeah.
And in this game, energy is crucial. Like, if you can't get that kill turn off when you're getting rid of your energy and you're not able to defend yourself, you're just going to leave yourself wide open. I think that's what will be that deck's biggest downfall. Yeah. It will be a glass cannon deck.
I think, and like maybe if they're smart, because I guess it just depends on how the deck's going to play. If you're using it as like I'm going to use this on my kill turn only to kill people, that might be good. Like, you can technically overwhelm and then play 2 of those in one turn, and you basically play three cards for free. Or you just trying to play really aggro and then like just kind of like glass cannon, as you said. So yeah, I think it could be good, but again, it's like I don't know why you would play that over even like the Vegito Spirit Bomb deck. Like, I don't know why you would play that over that. And
exactly. You wouldn't play it over Trunks Vegeta. You wouldn't play it over Majin Vegeta.
Yeah, no.
Like, and that's the problem that Yellow's going to run into is, would you play this over this? And the answer is probably no.
No, Majin Vegeta's not going anywhere either. That's a structure deck, so they're not gonna ban that because they need to sell that product. And also, it's just a good deck. Like, there's no reason to get rid of it.
No, they don't ban decks. They just reboot them. Case in point.
Yeah, or they just like they hit the deck like 3 or 4 times in the archetype and then just make it useless like Vegex.
No,
I'm still sad about that.
Yeah, they made sure to get rid of that one.
So what do we got left? We have red and blue.
We'll go to blue because that's quick.
Yeah, go over
that's
blue.
That's gonna be oops trash. Like,
yeah, no.
I don't want to be so blunt about it, but like, I know a lot of people that were excited to finally see Oob get his own leader.
Yeah.
Get his own archetype, get his own thing, and the deck is just abysmally terrible.
Yep. No, it's awful.
It gives me the Super 17 vibes from last set without the, gimmick of leader chains.
Yeah. And you know what's sad too is that it has a really good generic staple, which is that 8-drop Oob.
Yeah.
That 8-drop Oob is crazy good for blue decks. But it just sucks that basically all the good blue decks are just going to take that card and slot it into their decks, and then the Oob deck is just going to kind of fall to the wayside and be kind of useless.
That's exactly what it is, because the rest of the support just isn't good.
No. It even has a promo, which the promo isn't that good either. I wish, because it plays out the, I think the promo plays out the 8-drop, the 30k 8-drop. It would have been really cool if the promo could play out the secret rare. The Oob Gohan.
Oh, the Goku Oob.
Because that card actually is really good. You're just not going to tap 5 for it. But like, if you can play it in that deck cheaper, it would have been really cool. But they screwed up on that and made it unplayable.
Yeah. So, if they definitely would have cheated that out, it could have been interesting to see what it did.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But at the same time, it's blue. You're going to play Hatch. Or you're going to play Beast Han.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So...
What about the blue baby deck? What do you think about that one?
We've been down this road with baby before.
Yeah.
All right.
It's different, though. It's not like the counterplay baby. It's different.
No. I'm not referring to that one.
Oh.
I'm referring to like when they did the deck. I believe it was I did it in red. All the brainwashed.
Yellow and red.
Red. The red, yellow baby.
Yep.
I don't think it's as good as that one. Do I think the deck has potential? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's blue, so you have your blue staples that you have access to, with the exception of Dirty Burst now, which that kind of hurts blue in a big way. But at the same time, like, the archetype's relatively mana efficient. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's clear what it wants to do, but I also feel it took a page out of Green's book, and it's given you too many cards you have to play.
Yeah.
And that kind of limits you on what you're on deck building.
I'd say that the positive about the deck is that with the field spell, you get to cycle a ton of cards. So it's going to draw through a lot of your deck. But I wish there were better brainwash cards.
Yeah.
Because the 4-drop baby, and then the golden ape baby, which is also a generic card, by the way, that can be played in any deck as like just a 2-drop double striker. But both of those cards don't... like they play out brainwash cards, and the brainwash cards, like, they spam out 15Ks or 20Ks, which is cool. I guess we just kind of have to see how the format kind of plays out. Because going wide against yellow, they're just going to tap everything down.
Well, and my biggest problem I have with the deck too is like it's cool that they gave it Overlord Servant mechanics. Like that's good for draw purposes, but at the same time, most of the cards you're going to be playing are 5 to 10Ks, and they coming out through different effects, and it's that you're just going to get beamed by BMS or Koitsukai.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and actually BMS just screws that entire deck.
Yeah, I mean, blue has tools to remove cards, but at the same time, like, how much are you going to invest into just getting rid of a BMS? You know, they drop another after you invest into getting rid of one, you're in the same position you were already in, and you don't even get to play the game.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's BMS is such a good card, dude. Jeez. All right, so blue's kind of mid, which is good because blue's been getting too much shit. Red.
I agree.
So I'm really glad about this ban list because neither one of these red leaders would have ever been played if this ban list didn't occur. Because I think I think they're both very interesting for what they do, but I don't think either one is that good.
I still think even with the ban list, neither one of them is that good.
No, Pan's just a better red deck.
Yeah, Pan is going to be your premier red deck from now on.
Yeah, like
at least until next set, and if any other bans happen. But I think Pan is going to be the de facto red deck right now.
Yeah, Pan's going to be getting a TP, not this coming set, but they already leaked it. It has a free negate that you can play.
Oh Lord, yeah,
it's like the yellow metal cooler winter stamp. It's very similar to that. It's like it has like the same effect on it. Just plays it for free. So yeah, Pan's gonna be really and it might be a 15K. So then you can draw off of it when you play. I think I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't read it. The text was too small. Garlic Jr.
I'm going to hold on for a second because you completely just froze up on me in the middle of your sentence and then all caught back up.
Oh, that's wild. That's funny.
I heard what you said, but it all came in one stream. And I'm like...
I just talk really fast, man. I just talk really fast.
The Garlic Jr., it's underwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best way I can. I understand everyone's gonna be listening to this, but like, God, this Kenny dude is really fucking really negative about all these archetypes. But like,
it's Kenny.
Like, I'm realistic. Like, I may be a green player, so I'm like, I'm a little jaded because I'm used to green just getting the shaft.
You're grumpy. It's green players. You're all grumpy.
But at the same time, this set proved that they wanted to go another direction, and they did it.
Yeah.
They gave green arguably the strongest out-of-the-box archetype from this set.
I agree.
Arguably.
Yeah. And
the rest of it is just mid. Like, well, I'll move on to the Goku deck. Like, I love what it tries to do. I love the power pull. I love the equip mechanic is what I'm going with.
Yeah.
They're basically equip spells from Magic. Like, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem like... It doesn't seem like it's enough to get over that hump.
I don't have it in front of me, and I don't actually remember off the top of my head. But I don't think any of the Gokus have protection. I don't think any of them have barrier.
The Z battle card doesn't. The Piccolo has deflect. That's about all it's got going for it.
Yeah, the 5-drop or the 4-drop Goku SR doesn't have. I think it has deflect, but it doesn't have barrier.
Yeah, the 5-drop has deflect, but it doesn't have any sort of protection, and it's only 20k. So
dies to charismatic and
Yeah, exactly.
It's good to know.
The 8-drop has deflect, but that's all it has. It has deflect and double strike.
At least it's an 8-drop though, so that one I guess does.
It at least gets around charismatic.
Yeah. So, but like the 5-drop, just gonna die. It's gonna get killed by Kusu, or it's gonna get killed by charismatic, or it's gonna get negged, or it's just gonna get tapped down.
Well, the problem is too with the 8-drop is it's generic. So you're not going to play this archetype to play it. It'll probably go in pan because you can play it for 2 when you have 4 more red energy.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna whatever I'm playing at Tennessee. If I'm playing a red deck at Tennessee, that card's going right into my deck.
Yeah, exactly. Like the card is the 8-drop is generic. Like that's the thing is all these archetypes, the boss monsters are good.
Yeah.
But they're generic, so why would you invest into the archetype?
Yeah, the archetypes just aren't good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
In other stuff.
Now, the secret rare, on the other hand, the red Shenron.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. All of the secret rares are pretty. I guess we'll go over the. I was gonna say we're gonna go over the black archetype, but there wasn't a black archetype.
No, but we are going to go into that because that needs to be discussed.
Yeah. Let's talk about the black cards then, and then we'll save the secure stuff for last. So there were 5, 6 black cards printed. 7? No. It was like 8 black cards printed.
It was a total of 9.
9. Okay.
1 Z leader and 5 battle cards.
Okay. So we got Supreme Kai support. Not Supreme Kai. We got God Trunk support. We got Mechi support.
And then we got Toa support.
But unfortunately, it's just not going to be playable.
The deck is still not playable.
Yeah, but Mechi. Mechi Gabora, man, it is so close to now with the ban list. Like, it's made me think it might be almost time to bring that back out.
Honestly, with the support it got, it fills the holes that the deck had a problem with when the deck came out. And mind you, you and I both played that deck.
Yeah.
Hell, we had a group chat specifically for that deck.
Yeah. We did.
And the deck does what it needs to do, and it draws a lot, and you see everything you need to see. But now, like, all your problems you had with the deck, the support seems to like fix. The one drop Mecha Kabora, you get to cheat out the 8-drop. You can do that on your and you don't even have to cheat it out from your hand. The Mecha Kabora is in the drop, and you put the big guy in the drop, which you can do with the Dark Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
The promo Dragon Ball.
Yep.
You cheat him out on your awakening turn, so you cheat him out for 3, awaken, have that extra energy back up.
Yep.
I think you need 4 for the big boy's effect to trigger. I don't remember. I don't have it in front of
me. You need 4 to play it for 4, I think. No, I'm sorry. You need your opponent needs 3 or 4 cards in the warp. I think,
which you're gonna do with your Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
So by the time you go to awaken, you should have that criteria met, which makes that card just insane value on 3. Especially because it'll be a 30k double strike blocker with deflect.
Yeah, and it wipes the
blocker. No, with strike. Double strike, and it gets barrier from the Meki.
Yeah.
Deflect.
Yep.
And then it just wipes the board and adds 2 more, vanillas to your field.
Yeah. No, it's
for 3.
It's nuts. That card, and then the Shroom. The Salsa is pretty good too because you can play it from the drop, which is like very good value.
I actually been meaning to text you about that because I reread it because you and I initially discussed that and we said the Shroom, I don't know why you'd play that over the old Shroom.
Yeah.
But I could play it from the drop.
Yeah.
Instant value.
Yeah, I when I read that I was like, I can pitch this off of my Dark Dragon Ball. I could pitch it off my Oceanuses, whatever, but then you can just play it off. You can play it from the drop. Like, okay, and it's a 15k crit. I'm like, okay, that makes it a little bit better because one of my complaints is that you just have a bunch of 15k beaters and you have no like value off of that. Like, you're just giving them cards. You're just helping them cycle essentially with the Salsa being crit is fantastic. The Shroom warping a battle card 7 or less and drawing a card for 1 energy. It's basically thwarting
on archetype.
On archetype, it's so good. That card, like, that's the one card, like, the Mechi was fantastic, but I'm like, I can see this card, and I wish it wasn't Limit 1.
If it wasn't Limit 1, it would be an SR or better, without a doubt.
They should have given us an S. Yeah,
that's why it wasn't. That should have been an SR. Limit 1.
Yeah, it's but that was really good. Mm-hmm. The 2 Toa cards aren't very good, so I'm not going to talk about them too much because they play out the unison. I think. So, in like honest opinion, like that, I think the one thing the deck was missing, which it still doesn't really have, it kind of does, is barrier removal. It does. You can play. There's a Shroom card you can play. It's like a 15k crit, and it warps a battle card on swing. But you have to have a skillless card in play, and you have to have a unison in play to spirit boost off of. So it's possible in some matchups because you do play a unison in the deck, but some matchups where you don't, it's just going to get sided out or just never sided in. So not having barrier removal is kind of weird.
Well, that's always been an issue for black.
Yeah. So
it's that was the same thing with the Trunks Jita deck, or not Trunks Jita, the Super Saiyan God Trunks deck.
Yeah.
Like that, they finally got what it needed. If like the 8-drop it got, that's barrier removal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it good? Is it good barrier removal? Debatable.
Yeah, it's 3 energy. So it's
Well,
definitely an investment.
It's only one. You just have to use Xeno. I mean, two for the 5-drop, one
Yeah.
for the Xeno. I get you. We're on the same page.
And that's
now.
if it lives. Like in certain in what decks are potentially going to be played, I don't feel like it's a good target because I'm going to tap 2 and then someone's either going to Gohan promo me and kill it. They're going to Videl counterplay and kill it. They're going to Charismatic and kill it. They're going to use Kusu and kill it. The thing it's safe against is yellow, and I don't even want to do that, like, because then I have to go into the it's not great. It's a good card, but they need to print a better 5-drop that maybe has barrier or something, so it doesn't actually die when you play it, or at least just cost 1. It's costing 2 and then paying another energy to play a card while spirit boosting is just not. It's too much.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's too much.
Like I said, it was nice to see the deck get support because it desperately needed it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still not enough.
No. The Z leader is fantastic. The Z leader actually gives the deck some playability. The Kai is very good, being able to play the unison from the warp. That's very good. But again, I don't think it's not going to be the format for that deck, unfortunately, still, because the 5-drop. Now we're going into potentially a green format, and with green decks
green yellow format.
Yeah, having Charismatic just available 24/7, I'm never tapping 2 for that God Trunks. It's just going to die, and then I can't go into my 8-drop, and then it is what it is.
Yeah.
So like black didn't get much, which is very odd. I think it has something to do with next set, because I think we're getting a starter deck next set with the Vegito leader, if I remember correctly. So that's maybe why we didn't get a black deck. I don't know.
It would make sense, and then they'll push out more support in the next set for black.
Yeah, which they need to, because I mean, Cumber got a ton of support last set, so I'm okay with them not giving as much stuff. So they did give some old archetype support, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you start off here. I guess we can go over the secret rares. Actually, before we go into secret rares, what do we think overall? Like, if you could rate this set, what do you think? Like
C.
A C?
On an A through F scale, C. You know, it was a mid set.
Yeah.
You had one good archetype come out of the set. One. And that being Gohan. And that's still debated if it's a good archetype or not. You have people that still want to argue it. The Cell was good until the Banlist happened.
Yep.
So the Banlist just destroyed the set, and that was the biggest issue. The errata list, rather.
Yeah.
So, like, you got good support for Meki. You got decent support for Trunks Cheetah, but it doesn't really do much to fix the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Your red archetypes are mid. Your yellow archetypes, there's already better ones that didn't get touched, so why would you bother? The blue ones are just bad.
Yep.
And then you have one solid green deck that came out of it.
Yeah, I think it's very gimmicky. It feels a lot like, what was the set? Saiyan Showdowns, I think, was the set. Because, like, nothing from the set was playable, but the deck had really good boss monsters. That was the deck that the 5-drop blue Kale card came out of.
Oh, yeah. I think that was that Saiyan Showdown? That might have been Assault.
No,
Saiyan Showdown was after.
Yeah.
My brain. You were good.
It had
Assault was like set 7. I'm living in the past.
I think that set had Divine Presence, the Goku card. So, like, that set had a lot of good boss monsters. I think that the set's I kind of agree. I give it like a C or a C+. I think the value is going to be in the singles in this set, unless you're going for the God Rare, obviously, which does add a little bit of value to it. But most of the boss monsters from every color are very good. We didn't really talk about, just because I don't really care to talk about yellow, because I don't want to talk about yellow that much. But the yellow SR is really good. The 2-drop SR that's a Goku and Vegeta, it's playable in any deck that's a yellow Saiyan. The Goku Piccolo, the 2-drop or the 8-drop red SR card's playable in any deck. The Oob and the Golden Ape playable in any deck. The green counterplay, it's technically playable in any deck. It just feels better in Gohan.
Sure, because you get out your Z leader for free, essentially, or for one.
You have, I don't know if the 6-drop cell is playable in the others.
It's generic.
It's generic? Okay. So, like, all of the cards are just generically good. Even the multicolor SRs, which, there's a Whis that's, like, really good. So, like, they got a lot of really good cards in the set from, like, the SR standpoint. Just the archetypes are just bad. Just for competitive Dragon Ball, they're just not very good. They're very cool and thematic. We got some leaders that haven't had support or have never seen a leader before, like Oob. So it's cool, but overall, it's not the greatest set for competitive Dragon Ball. For buying
value from it, like you're 100% correct. The value is just the fact that the SRs are generic.
Yeah.
Is that you could take them into your already competitive deck and just have some more support.
Yep, you just buy those because those are going to go up in price. Because at some point, some of these cards might be expensive, depending on. I think all of them got SPR arts, so it might not be as bad. I think the only one that didn't get an SPR art is the.
I think the Whis.
The Whis didn't. The Green Gohan.
The Green Gohan did.
Okay, the Gohan did, but the Goku counterplay didn't.
Yes, it did. The green SR that didn't get
that's right.
was the counter, counter attack.
Yeah, and that one did.
Yeah, dormant. It got dormant potentialed again.
Gotcha.
So,
no, it did. No, never mind. It did. The Goku counterplay. It got the one like it got the cell
thing. It got the moving closer image. By next set, this will be the picture.
Yeah, it's the same copy and paste of the yellow one from a few sets ago.
And it's the same copy and paste of the blue one from Battle Evo.
Oh yeah, Desperate Measures?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Okay. So, so we're kind of in agreement. It's probably about a C plus for that for the set. However, the SPRs, not the SPRs, what am I saying? The SCRs, pretty interesting. So, which one do you want to talk about first?
I'm going to save the best for last.
Okay.
So we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. And I'm going to start with, in my opinion, the worst one, which, not saying it's bad, the Mecha Kabora.
Mm-hmm.
The card is good. It is good. But at the same time, you have to have expected them to have played 0 cards from their Z deck to get the full value out of that card.
Yep. I think that's really stupid. I mean, again, the quality checking in this entire set was awful. So I feel like I feel like they missed that. That shouldn't have been printed that way. It should have said like cards in drop or cards in warp, it gets reduced by 1. Then it would make it really playable, because you could play it on like turn 3 in Mecha Kabora and have that on board. But yeah.
But it's good that it has the counterplay mechanic. It's good that it puts cards under it. It's a good, basically a good pseudo floodgate, because when they swing, you can just remove shit and send it to the warp. But
I didn't realize. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But at the same time, like, it's one of them. You read it, and why would you play that over Cumber?
Yeah. The only way I'd play it is if it costed 1 every time,
and it won't.
And I just thought about it. Decks that have Z-stack mechanics.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm gonna Z-stack these 3 cards from my Z deck to go underneath my leader. Great. Now my secret rare costs fucking 4 or 3. Great job. Like, I'm not playing it. It's
exactly.
That's just not good. No.
Exactly. Unless you can drop that thing turn 1, which, why would you do that?
Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna counterplay your Z battle card you're playing in your Android 21 deck, and then that's.
No, you won't. No, you won't, because it'll still cost you 2. You can't even do it on turn 1.
It's so dumb.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk about. So we got Red Sin, or not Sin. Red Shinron. No, you froze. Sorry.
Nope, you froze as well. I was sitting there waiting.
Okay. I'll make sure that's right, because I know people were saying the Sin Shinron secret rare. It was funny. So again, this secret rare actually got a card banned in this ban list, which was the 8-drop Gogeta, because any red deck would have just been able to, on turn 3, play that card from the drop, which would have been incredibly annoying and would have promoted a very bad healthy. I mean, not even a healthy game state. That's just every red deck would just be tapping 3 to play it.
I'm gonna hit you with the bad Kenny joke warning. Here it is. Pop it on the screen. SS4 Gogeta isn't banned. It's unaffected by non-GT skills. Yeah. So the ban list is not a Gogeta GT skill. All right, bad joke over.
I wish they would have put that in the ban reason, and saying, unfortunately, we can't ban this card because it's not affected by non-Gogeta GT skills. That would have been the funniest thing that Bandai would have ever done. It would have got
screwed up in translation. Translation would have screwed it somewhere.
Oh my god. But yeah, that card, very powerful card. I think I might test it in the deck that I'm going to potentially play for Tennessee as my secret rare of choice, potentially. Because you could do some very interesting things with it.
Oh yeah, the amount of like solid red cards, even with Gogeta getting banned, that you could just play off that guy is just insane value.
Yeah,
the fact that it can also, if you don't want to do that, it gives your leader 10k and triple attack. That's insane.
Or wipes the board. Ignoring barrier.
Well, it wipes the board. It gives everything -15.
Yeah.
But
it's very good.
So even if you're not cheating out big boss monsters with it, like you're getting insane value for 3.
Yep. As long as you keep it on the board, which I think you might be able to keep it on board for maybe a turn or 2 turns depending on the deck you're playing
maybe
against.
2 turns depending on what you're playing against.
Yeah, but no, that card is mint. That was a very very good card. And then you can talk about the last one.
You mean the Snap Crackle Pop card?
Yeah.
You mean how they unbanned a leader but made it a secret rare?
It's crazy. That is the best anniversary reprint they've ever done. Is just reprinting everyone's favorite green leader into a secret rare. It's wild.
Yeah, but then they made it Goku, so they screwed up. You heard it here, folks. I think the OG art's better than the God rare. I'll take the heat for it.
I don't know. I like the God rare.
No, I love the OG art because, like I said, you got Gohan snapping right before he goes Super Saiyan 2. You got Goku with King Kai. Like, I love that art. And then the God Rare, like, it's a Score Z card.
Yeah.
And like I just like, mind you, the card looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I do not like the God Rare over the OG art. I'll take the heat for that in the comments. That's fine. Flame me for it all you want.
No, there's a lot of people who I think they agree with you. Because people just don't like that Goku arc. Because I think people said that's not canon or something.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. So
I mean, but again, neither is Heroes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, that card's busted.
The card's insane, and the fact that it's not archetype lock.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing you're not gonna get is you're not going to get your leader swing, your leader skills if that card is played, unless you're Gohan. Which, honestly, outside of Gohan, that's a fair trade-off. You know, for example, I've been playing Gotenks. I can't imagine a world where I would go in, swing with my leader for the first time, deal my damage with my leader, Z Awaken, untap my leader, draw another card, swing, uses Activate Battle, give him +15 and Double Strike. So that's 3 damage right there. Then play the secret rare in that combo step, get my leader restood, give him Triple Strike.
Yeah.
And 20k on top of it. Like, imagine if I had my leader's other effect on top of that as well, where I could give him another 15k. Like, I understand why it's locked to Gohan to not get the bonus, not get all the leader's effects.
Yeah, it's a very, very good secret rare. It's searchable.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a green Saiyan.
Hopefully everyone bought that Gohan card before it got expensive. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, I think I think that is, it's not as generically good as like Cell Max. But
we're gonna get clarification on this, but I want to make it known that the way it reads, you cannot loop this secret rare. Yeah. If you Z charge it.
Yeah.
It is leaving a zone.
Yeah.
Ultimate will trigger.
And then it gets removed from game.
Yeah. Unless you are doing it via the card's mechanic. If you go to Z charge it and then remove it from your Z charge to play a Z battle card, it will not go to your drop. You can't use it for that. It'll just be stuck in your Z deck Z chart doing nothing.
I think I don't know if they'll. I'm sure someone will probably wait for Fash or somebody to say.
Sure,
hey,
but
you can't play it. But I'm sure someone's gonna try to do it just because it's Dragon Ball. That's what happens in our game.
Well, I said everyone was already trying to be cute about it, and it's like, if I don't think no.
Yeah.
Like, ultimate keyword, it switch zones, and you can argue, well, the Z charge is your energy's a zone.
Yeah, it's people are weird.
Because I'm fairly certain if you charge an ultimate and try to move it back to your hand, it just gets ultimated.
I don't know. I think you can, because you could charge Hatch and get it back with Zeno.
Oh well, then they definitely need to clarify that, then, because if that's the case, it might work.
Yeah, because I think it's
I might be putting my foot in my mouth.
And I think it's only when it's played, but we'll find out. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. But again, for 2 energy, that card is insane.
Yep.
Because you're going to get the 10k combo for the turn.
Mm-hmm.
Which, mind you, when it's used in a combo, I guess you don't get the 10k combo. I read so weird. Because you have to pay the 1 for the 10k combo, but it says when it's used in a combo, oh no, place this card from your drop to your Z deck at the end of the battle. So yeah, you get 10k combo out of it. Then for another green, you get a plus 20k triple strike on your leader, and your leader gets restood.
Yep, it's good.
Like the only value you're gonna get out of that is, like, obviously if you're playing green and you negate it with the Majin Buu negate, like, I guess you stop that. But at the same time, if you negate my leader swing, I'm not gonna combo this card. So really, there's no anticipating it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that
people were talking about doing that. They're like, "Oh, you can just negate the leader swing." It's like, then I just won't combo it.
Combo, yeah, okay. You have
you got me. Okay, so set pretty mid outside of green, and then all the staple SRs are pretty good. So, so we got the ban list, and ban list was crazy. Ban list made a lot of people mad. Banlist made a lot of people happy, and for me, I think this is the most excited I've actually been to play the game since last year. Might have been last year's Gen Con. So last year's Gen Con, you had, this is still when Cell Surge was the thing, but you had Cell Surge, you had Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, you had I think that was maybe the time we had like U7 and stuff. It was like before Gamma came out, but like
yeah, U7 was a deck then.
Like Trunks Cheetah and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Very
early
open.
Stages of Trunks Cheetah.
Very, very open. And I think now with this ban list, which we'll go over, I think it really opens up the game to hopefully have a very diverse meta. Where we're not having this. Now, we're always going to have a triangle format in the sense of, like, there's going to be, like, decks that are gatekeeping that are going to be very, very good. And we're still going to have that in this set. But there's a lot of open-ended, like, there's a lot of open air for a lot of decks to be able to breathe and potentially do well. So
I agree with,
yeah.
But I don't think it's going to make a diverse meta. And it's strictly because you got rid of the 2 best red decks in the game and the best blue deck in the game. Plus the best blue counterplay in the game. You're in a yellow meta now.
Yeah, we're in a yellow meta, but now it's a little... you kind of know what you're going to more likely play against.
Oh yeah, you don't have to decide better for it.
Yeah, you're not worried about... so we'll probably... I mean, everyone should probably know what the cards are, obviously. Like Sin got banned, Gogeta got banned, Gamma got banned, SS4 Gogeta, the SR got banned, which is good because that card broke the game anyways, and then Dirty Bird got banned, right? So instead of siding against, because like most decks couldn't function because you couldn't side well enough against SS4 because they would just outvalue with their hand. They have way too many way too many one-drop battle cards that had way more value than anything that you could play, as well as having a secret rare on turn 4 with another card that wiped your board and you couldn't do anything about it, and you can't combo anything other than super combos. You can't negate, can't use extra cards. Terrible, terrible designed card for the game, right? So like that card stopped a lot of decks from actually wanting to be played because you couldn't, like imagine playing King Cold. You're just like, all right, I guess I just die because I can't use my leader effect. I can't use any of these extra cards. Like I can't do anything. So like stuff like that's gone. Like Sin, you don't have this incredibly hyper aggro red deck that can play Gohan TP turn 1, plus another double striker, plus a leader swing, plus a 15k that you can loop, plus a 30k triple striker on turn 3, right? Like you're not really dealing with that. You're not dealing with 12 floodgates from Gamma. So it definitely switches what we're focusing on, which are
12 floodgates plus Gamma plus being rewarded for tapping out.
Right. Plus an Android 21 secret rare that's going to ramp them to life. You know, like that deck, just like that type of consistency was ridiculous. But now we're going into a yellow format, which is fine. You have to worry about what Riposte, Vegito, Gohan secret rare, just other generic good yellow cards. It's fine. I have
and all things that are easily played out of.
Yeah. So I think it changes what we're gonna like. That's what I'm saying. Like it opens up the meta because like there's more stuff that is good against yellow, that can play good against yellow, and not have to worry about the bullshit that we had to just endure for like half a year.
So, I agree.
So obviously, like a lot of yellow. What do we think is going to sort of come out as like? Obviously, we have no real idea because there's a tournament going on this weekend that's still pre-Banlist. So the first one won't be until I think Tennessee.
I think you're right.
Which is next month. I don't
think there's any webcams between now and then.
I don't think so.
I think Tennessee is the first one that the set will be legal.
Probably, yeah, more than likely. So we don't really know what's going to be played. Like we probably have an idea. So like yellow, obviously, Majin Vegeta, probably Trunks Vegeta, Golden Frieza.
Yep.
Maybe the Ape Coup starter deck because it actually isn't awful. That's probably it for yellow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good. I believe your big 2 or big 3 are going to be Trunks Vegeta, Golden Frieza, and Majin Vegeta.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep. So you have those, and that's mainly what a lot of decks are going to have to side for. Now you have the introduction of green, which Gohan's not even really a hand destruction deck. Like realistically, like the Android 21 deck does more hand destruction than Gohan does.
The Gohan deck is a green good stuff deck.
Yeah, just popping stuff and drawing cards and
popping stuff and playing bodies with value.
Yeah. Yep.
Like that's the beauty of it is it's green, but it doesn't do what they want green to do. It does what I guess yellow does, but in green with all of green's tools. You'll have dormant, you'll have charismatic, you'll have homicidal clones, you'll have all of the good green defensive tools, plus all this value in your battle cards and in the archetype.
Yep. You're playing some stuff that like does hand destruction but it's not a lot.
Yeah, but it's not your focus. Like it's an additional effect to what you're trying to accomplish, which is nice.
Yep. So you got that. I don't really see anything else being played from green. Maybe like King Piccolo.
No, unless you're Scott Dashy, you're not playing King Piccolo.
Like outside of like, I don't see anyone else playing any other green stuff outside of that deck. Probably
you might see a Rogue Gotenks or SS4, but again, those decks have been doing what they've been doing since they've come out. And mind you, with Red gone, that actually inherently makes those decks better. You know, that's the biggest thing is with green is with Red basically out of the picture, with your exception of random Red decks that are just going to play the Red good stuff like launch and whatnot. Yeah. If those pop back up, green just is inherently better because of it. And if you're going to do yellow format, green has a good yellow matchup.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm very interested to see how the Gohan deck actually plays once people start getting their stuff and they start proxying, but possibly in playtesting. I'm interested to see how it's gonna play because it's gonna have to go through the ringer to really see if it's gonna actually compete.
Yep.
And it's gonna be interesting to see how well it does. But that deck it's not gonna revive green. It's just gonna make this deck playable in green.
Yeah. So exactly.
We have red. So red's kind of interesting. Pan is kind of the go-to, I think, for a lot of people because it was the last red deck that out of the trio that wasn't touched. But I'm gonna say, so two red decks that I think are kind of slept on. One is set to Vegito.
The combo deck, the like kill you in one turn deck.
No, that's it's Vegito's the one that all the Goku and Vegetas count as every color.
Oh, okay, that one.
So that deck has a really good yellow matchup because the leader just bottom decks a card and you draw two and you can pop any card that ignoring barrier. Like that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You have a secret rare that you can tap your opponent out and draw 4 cards. You have all these big barrier bodies. You have 25, 30k double strike crits and all this other kind of stuff. And that deck, your leader's also inherently double strike. You can play Resolve Renewed, which is a fantastic card that thank God it got errated just to that leader. You play Almighty Resistance because you should be playing the yellow version of the deck. That deck has so many tools and people aren't playing it, and it scares me because I don't have enough playtesting against it, and I'm scared I'm gonna run into it. I'm gonna be like, holy shit, I have no idea what to do right now, and like I don't know what to side. So like that deck has been giving me PTSD ever since like the ban list yesterday, because like all I thought about, I'm like, okay, now I have to deal with Vegito. I'm like, oh god, what does Vegito do? I'm like trying to like watch like old videos of Vegito. But that deck, and then Bulma. I think Bulma is really, really good. And not having to deal with Gogeta anymore makes Bulma a very reliable red control deck. Again, I don't think people are going to play it because people don't like playing control. But I think it's a very powerful
And I
deck.
think a lot of things that also steer people away from it is it is a 10k awakened leader.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you draw so many cards that you make up for that.
A lot of defense, baby. Negates and blockers. Negates and blockers.
I think blue is probably erased from the format.
You think so?
Look at what your options are right now. You have the Wish Zamasu, the new Goku Black deck, which I don't know if your opinion's changed on it, but it's mid at best.
It changes a little bit because Sin's gone. But it's okay. You can cheat out Tragedy Overground very early.
Which, if you get to that point, like
you just scoop. Like you're not gonna win that game in a lot of cases against.
Yeah.
Them, but I think it's average at best. I agree.
Yeah. And then what other blue decks are there with Gamma gone? You know, I mean,
so 21.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's a deck because I've only seen it played one time.
Yeah.
Because the deck just didn't perform.
It's and I don't even want to say it's a blue deck because it's like a green deck. It's more of a green deck than it is a blue deck. But you have both 21s. You have the Expert deck 21, which is essentially just like I don't know if have you actually seen that deck played, the Expert 21 deck
with the new stuff.
It only plays one new card, which is it's a TP. Have you seen that deck played?
And yeah, I saw the deck played when the deck came out, but I have not seen any. I've seen, like I said, I've seen one person play 21 one time since that deck has come out.
So the Expert deck came out in like it's the old like set.
I know of the deck.
Like
I've seen the Expert deck when the Expert deck came out, but
so the 21 deck, it plays one new card, which is a promo, and essentially it cycles Bionic Blitzes.
Okay.
So it just like you can probably, I think I've seen people use like 8 Bionic Blitzes in a game.
Oh dear God.
So like it's essentially just a hand control deck, and it plays like Bad Omen, plays the whole Bad Omen chain where you can play a Bad Omen from your energy with the Super 17. And then it uses there's like a Zamasu Unison that if you put an energy in the drop, you get to draw a card and restand it, and it's a blocker. It's very interesting deck. That's probably I would say that's probably the most popular deck outside of Majin Vegeta going into next set, in my opinion, just because it's so good, and it's such a good hand destruction deck because you can't do anything. Like they're bottom decking your cards. You can't.
Yeah, they're not making you discard.
Yeah. So there's that. Again, it's more of a green deck. You have the deck that set 20 and or 21, which I still don't think is a very good deck. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. I don't think it's very good. I've never had bad experience against the deck. So yeah.
I played against it and lost, but I play green.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an okay. It's a good deck. I don't know. I don't see. I think what makes the deck. I think what makes the deck good is just the secret rare. I think the secret rare is what makes the deck fantastic. So like I'll shut up because it's literally just the secret rare. I think everything else in the deck is pretty mid. And Soul Striker. So Soul Striker has been coming back.
Oh, yeah, that will make a comeback.
There's mono blue. People are playing blue green. So like that might be a deck. There's the 7-Ku, which is the Goku, the reboot Goku from a few sets ago before Nats that has like crit and double strike. I think that leader is very good. So there are blue decks, but it's definitely the problem is that now blue has to deal with Crown. They can't use Dirty Burst to tap under Crown. They can't use Dirty Burst to just pass the turn because they essentially were. Dirty Burst is essentially a baby hatch against a lot of the meta. Like being a black player, right? Like I couldn't play my 8-drop Gogetas or my 8-drop Cumber or my Golden Cooler secret rare, and then you just tap 2 cards and then I can't swing for the turn. It just literally just stops you from doing anything. So not having Dirty Burst, I think is going to hurt a lot of these blue decks, and they're going to have to run other ways to survive. Because now you lost. Now they have to go back to playing some form of other negates, or they have to go back to playing Baby Hatch, because you need a way to be able to stop the turn and go to next. Like, if you don't have that ability, they
become more of a defensive deck versus what they were trying to do, which was kind of a mid range.
Yeah, and then just having Dirty Burst is just sit on and not being able to die. Black's weird.
I don't think it's weird. I think Cumber finally gets his time.
Yeah, it's fun. Everyone says Cumber's a bad deck, and I just think people are just. I'll be honest. I think people are just really bad pilots. I think everyone complains about Black. I can go on a whole rant about it, but I think everyone complains like no one wants to play Black unless it's broken, and then when it's not broken, it sucks. Like there's no in between. Like people just think Black's is really bad. I just think nobody plays Black.
The thing is no one played Black because all of the good Black decks got
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Everyone's like, I can't cheat out all these 30k cards in my Dark Broly deck. Okay, so I have to think.
You could do it now. It just isn't free.
Yeah,
you actually have to, play the game.
Yeah. But I think now is a good spot for Black because I think Cumber had really one bad matchup, which was Gogeta. It's gone. Cumber technically Cumber did beat Gamma, but Gamma's gone, so it doesn't matter. You have to now focus on Golden Frieza, which is not incredibly difficult to beat. And you have to focus on 21 and learn the green matchup. Like, I don't think there's much to really worry about with Cumber. I think Cumber is going to be a very solid deck. We already kind of talked about Trunks and Mechikabura. I think Mechikabura is probably the better choice out of the two, but that one's also kind of dependent on the meta. Hatch, I still think Hatch is fantastic, but that's just me.
You're the only one that thinks that. Have fun sitting across from it for an hour.
It's fine. They have to sit across from it, not me. I'll be enjoying myself.
You're just the guy getting shivved in the parking lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Actually, a deck we didn't talk about is Yellow Sin. I think Yellow Sin might.
It could make a resurgence.
I think it might be an interesting rogue pick. I think being able to play the 4-drop championship card off the 1-drop ball, very powerful. That's a very powerful thing. I think the 9-drop still has a ton of playability in that deck.
Can you play the 4-drop? Is it 19k?
It's a 4-drop.
Yeah, the 4-drop, is it 19?
I think it only has to be a 4-drop.
I would double check that. I think it has to be under 20k power.
We can check.
Yeah, we're gonna check that real quick.
Yeah, you go ahead and check. I can't pull up my thing on.
That's fine.
I think you can play the 4-drop. I mean, I might be lying.
Star. Negative energy 1-star ball. Is that the right one?
Should be.
Yes. Been a while since I played Yellow Sin.
Same. I haven't played it in forever.
No, just energy cost between 2 or 4. Okay. Yep. See, I was so used to it's been so long since I played it. I'm like, I know the 4-drop has 19k, the one you typically play off of it to go into your chain. But yeah, no, being able to play that TP for 2 energy essentially is insane.
Yep. So that's going to be a big thing. I think being able to consistently recycle your board. if you're probably gonna play Golden Cooler in that deck, so like turn 6 you play out all your guys, or turn 5 you play out Golden Cooler, turn 6 you play out all your guys and you just kill them. Like I think it's a very powerful strategy.
Especially because you have access to all of Yellow's defensive tools.
Yep.
You have Robotic Repose and all that.
So I think it could be a good rogue deck. I don't know if it's going to be like the top pick deck in the rogue strategy, but it could. It definitely could.
Easily.
Mm-hmm. So
easily.
I think honestly, like, there's probably outside of green, which might have maybe 2 decks that might be able to like compete. I think every other color has like 2 or 3 that have the potential to do well, which is exciting because that means with all these, decks being banned and, some other cards, it just opens up for people to test, hopefully, other stuff. And then in like 2 events, everyone's going to net deck, which is fine. But at least for the first few events, we get kind of an open window of, okay, outside of yellow, we can play a bunch of other shit and we can see if it's going to be good or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
At least until after Tennessee. I think Tennessee will be what, honestly, people will use as the determining point for the meta. Whatever top 8's Tennessee.
It potentially. It just depends on how many people show up.
That too.
I think right now
it's not in a good location.
That's what people told me. Yeah.
And they didn't advertise it well.
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem is they didn't advertise it well, and the prize support doesn't justify like West Coast players paying $800 round trip, if not more, between hotel, vehicle, plane ride, just to come out for that.
That's fine. They can stay in California.
They can stay in Cali.
I don't fucking care. They can stay out there, dude. It's fine. They're gonna have like they have core TCG out there. They're gonna run an event.
It definitely wasn't advertised well, and it's not in a good location for accessibility for all players.
Yeah, it's fine. They can like I said, and they have core. They can just deal with core TCG because I'm sure core TCG is gonna have an event out there. It's always in Anaheim or San Diego or something, so they can have that event out there.
Well,
it doesn't matter. Hope. I mean, realistically for them, does it really matter? Jared Lopez is just going to win the event anyways. So they're just.
He's already out there winning almost every webcam event.
I'm pretty sure he won. Because MumbleCon, at least top 16 was today. I'm pretty sure he was first. So like you guys, like, you're just going there to get second and third and everything else. So that's cool. It's cool. You're just not winning if Jared's going. So shout out to Jared Lopez.
Yeah, shout out to Jared.
He's a cool guy.
Hell of a player.
He's a cool guy. So was there anything else that we wanted to go over? Sorry, I'm like dying over here.
You heard it here first, folks. Kyle Chris, bet on site.
Yeah.
The set's too spicy for him.
Yeah. I think so. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say, I don't know. I think Tennessee is gonna be very interesting. I think it's gonna open up a lot of cool stuff. I know all the testing group that we have. A lot of us are playing very, I won't say off the wall stuff, but there's some meta stuff in there.
Diverse is the word we'll use.
Very, very diverse stuff. Very, very diverse stuff.
Because I know you're going, and I am not going, but I'm also a father of 2 who works 6 days a week. So,
yeah, I know.
I don't get to do fun things.
There's like 6 of us, I think, that are going, and I think we're all playing. I think every color's represented between the 6 of us.
I think you're all playing different decks too.
We're all playing different decks.
Yeah, which, like I said, you're going to a major event, and you're not. Out of 6 people, not one duplicate deck. That's automatically a good sign for a format.
Yeah. So we just got to see if it's going to be good or not. We just got to do some testing. So, so we kind of came up with this, and this might change depending on each one of the episodes. But again, we will be answering like Q&A questions. So please make sure you leave that down below. If you guys want to have some questions for us that you guys want to talk about the game, maybe just questions for us that are Dragon Ball related or other things. I'll pick some appropriate ones. Me and Kenny will cycle through them, and then
and we might showcase the inappropriate ones as like a clip at the end, as I laugh at most of them.
Yeah, potentially. And honestly, and depending how stupid they are, I might just answer them because I'm pretty unfiltered. I try to be unfiltered, so I'm okay with doing a little shit talking. So we're gonna do a little segment here at the end before we kind of wrap it up here. And Kenny came up with this. So it's called Staple Showcase. So you want to kind of explain what it is?
So basically what we're going to do is, like, obviously, for your side deck, you're going to have, there are generic staples that you're going to see in almost every side, Koitsukai, BMS, the Cunning cards like that. So we're not going to cover that because those are kind of a given. If you don't know to side those cards by now, then I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Agreed.
So what we're going to do is Chris and I are both going to pick a card that you might not have thought of and go over the card, explain it real quick, and then explain where its relevance is in the format and why it might actually be a decent side deck tech choice.
I don't know if I actually have my card next to me. I probably should
that's
check.
Fine. You'll fix it in post and put it on the screen.
Yeah, I might just have to put insert card here because I don't know if I actually have it on.
I'll say you don't even have to show the card as long as, like I said, when you fix it in post and just put it on the screen.
So how about you go over yours first so I can try to find mine.
So the card I'm gonna go over, it's for green.
And I will put it on screen though as well.
Do you want me to show it then, or?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, my camera will zoom in. So green players rejoice. It's this bad boy right here.
Ready to
Android
fight.
18, ready for a fight.
Yep.
For those who aren't aware, it came out of set 14 and it's a rare. It's a 4-drop 19k, but it has an auto if your leader's green. When you take damage from an opponent's non-keyword skill, you may play this card from your hand. If you do, add the top card of your deck to your life, and you can't activate on auto skills of this card for the game. So it is a one-trick pony to get you out of being burned.
Yep.
How that's relevant, the big elephant in the room, Cumber SCR. That card just drops and gets rid of your life. If he wants to go ahead and do that, you drop this bad boy down there, and you just get that life back.
It's pretty toxic.
Honestly,
if someone played that on me, I would I'd be all right, whatever. I'd be so pissed. It would literally throw my entire turn off. I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, and it sits on your board as a 5k combo, so you get the combo power as well of it. They don't get to rip it from because Cumber rips from the hand if I remember correctly. It
warps from the life, and then it plays a card from the.
Oh, I don't know why my brain went to a different secret rare because I got throttled by it last week. When I was playing Stape, I don't remember what the hell he was playing, but his secret. Oh, the gold. I was thinking a golden cooler. So watch my entire hand just go to the Z deck. Or Z charge.
That was me. I played that on you.
Yeah, just all right, goodbye entire hand.
And you're like, hey, what does that card do? I was like, all right, well, you put your whole card.
Yeah. Oh.
And you're like,
okay.
Only 5 cards? I'm like, no. Everything but 5 cards.
Oh, yay.
So it also works against Unbridled Power, the Vegeta, which is obviously a lot of red decks. So you can't use that card if you have 1 life. So that's kind of the caveat, is you have to have 2 life. But it still takes a life. Bad Omen, you're going to see a lot of 21. Whether either one of the 21s play Bad Omen. So if they hit Bad Omen, you just get a free life. So you don't take a damage. They waste 4 energy, and they lose an energy for you to not do any damage to you, and then you can kill them on the crackback, hopefully. So yeah. Yeah,
exactly. It's like I said, it's a big slap in the face for people who just want to cheat your life away from you.
Yep. And I think not mistaken, Yellow has one of those.
I do not quote me on that because I do not know honestly. You turned me onto this card.
I think it's a Piccolo. I think Yellow has a Piccolo, and Blue might have one, and it's a Vegeta. I don't know about the Blue one, but I know Yellow has one because it came out of the same set.
Yeah, so set 14, look them up. Like I said,
what was set 14?
And they're don't ask me set names like that.
Not Saiyan Showdown. Saiyan Showdown was 15. I don't remember top of my head. Remember?
I don't know, but it's not an expensive card. It's a rare. Set you back like 30 cents.
Yep.
Maybe $1 if you want to have it foil.
It's a good card.
Yeah, and like I said, it'll definitely catch, Cumber off guard. Make it feel bad about spending 2 to burn you for 0 life.
Yeah, can't wait. It's gonna be great. So my card is also pretty generic. I'll put on the screen because I don't actually can't find mine. I thought it was in my binder, but so it's Toa, Twisted Sister.
Here, hold on. I got you, buddy.
I think Kenny has one for me. This is an SR that was printed in set 10.
Yep.
Unison
Rise of the Unison Warrior.
Yep. So this card also has a reprint because it was reprinted back in set 10 too. So it is a counterplay. Play this card, or you can just tap 1 energy to play it. You draw a card and you choose a card in your opponent's drop area and you shuffle it back into their deck. So multiple reasons why this card could be good, right? It is a 1-drop cantrip. Those are always good for the game. It can be played in the counter window. Very, very good. And it also gets rid of something in your opponent's drop area. So there's a lot of decks where your opponent plays stuff from the drop area, or they have effect from the drop area. So like the new green Gohan, you can put their 4-drop 1k or 10k combos back into their deck so they can't use it for combo power. You can put Drolapes, Rebrands, Koitsukais back into their deck. Yellow Sin, you can put cards back into the deck. Decks that play Dragon Balls, you can technically put a Dragon Ball back into their deck. You can put people under Sparking 5 or Sparking 5 for negates or super combos, depending on the deck. There's honestly a lot of different things that it can do. It might be relevant at some point. It was really good. It would have been a really good side deck card in the Crimson format because you can just put their Saiyans back into their deck and they have to go through another combo phase to be able to put that card back in there.
I sided it when Red U7 was a deck.
Yep, Red U7. Which Red U7 might... I didn't put it on my list, but it might be a card that could potentially make a comeback because that was like the big guy before Dirty Burst became a really good counterplay for Red. So we might see that again. But yeah, you can put any of their cards back into their deck. It's very powerful. And also being able to be played in counter window 1. So if you are playing against a deck that is using Crown, right? You have 2 energy up, like your yellow deck or a blue deck. You can't Dirty Burst anymore to tap under that 2, but you can play Toa to potentially tap under that 2, so you have 1 energy left. You get to draw a card still, and you have a 5k combo power card on board. Now for Mechi, card's even better. You can get it off Power Burst. You can pitch it off your Dragon Balls because it is a Demon Realm race. So it's a very powerful tool. Hopefully you can be able to fit it in your side deck if it's possible. So, got anything else to add?
No, we're waiting to see how set 21 shapes the format. That's for sure.
So
I'm hoping Green finally gets his shot. Green finally gets his time.
Yeah, we'll see. Potentially. So, but thank you guys. Hopefully, if you guys were listening to the entire thing, thank you guys for listening to the first podcast episode. If you guys are watching as well, thank you guys for that.
Yeah, sorry we drug on a little longer than we anticipated, but we're still getting our feet wet with this.
Yeah, and honestly, there's not a lot of content around the game right now that kind of evolves into these sort of long conversations. So it's just good to have something you can listen to just in the background, just talking about Dragon Ball, because we are very, very passionate about the game still. Hopefully some other people are. So we just like talking about it. So thank you guys for listening, for joining us on the first episode. And as always, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Later, guys.